What's up, everybody? Good evening. Hope things are going well for all of you. And we got a practice session to talk about in this video. The Seahawks did have a practice session today at the VMAC. Now, there's not going to be a ton to talk about because this is one of those practice sessions where the media doesn't really get to watch most of it. The media gets kind of shut out of the building after warm-ups until the players and coaches speak to the media. So the only stuff we'll be able to talk about will be the stuff that is evident during that warm-up period, and then the stuff that the players and coaches say directly to the media. So it's much more controlled what the team is showing to the media right now. And there's certainly no reason for them to give away more information than they need to because they are 6 days away from a game. So it's not going to be a typical practice recap where you have, oh, this player looked good. These plays looked good. This play was the play of the day. This player struggled. We didn't get to see any of that. So nothing really getting passed along in that area. Mostly what we're dealing with now is injury updates. And in fairness, that's far more important than anybody looking good or bad in practice right now. And we had the whole offseason and preseason for these players to show whether or not they're looking good. So we don't really need that anymore. So, going to open up with some injury updates here. We did get quite a bit. I will say that. We got a lot of clarity on injury stuff just by virtue of who was out there in uniform for warm-ups. So, Brady Henderson leads us off here. Seahawks are not required to release an injury report until Wednesday, so no official word. So, technically speaking, the players I'm about to discuss might have just participated in warm-ups and then just sat down for the actual practice session. But Dre'Mont Jones, Jerome Baker, Rayshawn Jenkins, Trey Brown, and Noah Fant were all in uniform during warm-ups. And that is notable because there are a few players who were not in uniform during warm-ups. They were Artie Burns, Uchenna Nwosu, and Pharaoh Brown. So that seems relevant, right? You're looking at these three players, and these are kind of the three players that you would expect to not be ready yet, right? Uchenna Nwosu, we were told he would be out for at least 2 weeks. He got hurt 9 days ago. So it's totally expected that he wouldn't be ready to actually suit up and play football right now. Pharaoh Brown, dealing with a foot injury from a couple of weeks ago. We kind of expected that he wouldn't be ready quite yet. And Artie Burns, he just got hurt the other day. So the fact that these guys are actually in uniform during warm-ups is great. So Dre'Mont Jones has missed a lot of time in training camp, a lot of time during the preseason. So big deal to hear that he's at the very least making progress. Sometimes with these injuries, it feels like you're not making progress. So Dre'Mont, really happy about that. Jerome Baker, I mean, we need him. Rayshawn Jenkins, a clear starter. Trey Brown, with Mike Jackson having been traded to the Panthers, we definitely need him active. We definitely need him able to play. And, of course, Noah Fant, I mean, especially with the injuries to Pharaoh Brown and to a lesser extent Jack Westover, we need our top tight end. So if these guys are truly all trending to be ready week 1, which is what it seems like right now, we'll know more in a couple of days, but right now it seems good. Very encouraging. So definitely excited about that. We also got an update from Tyler Lockett. He expects to play on Sunday. They acknowledged the fact that his leg injury was why he was not practicing lately. So it is injury related. We've now heard it from a couple different people. But Lockett was very clear that, hey, it was precautionary. It doesn't really mean anything. We're not concerned about it. It's nothing that's going to hold me out of the game. It's nothing that is going to interfere with my ability to play in the opener. Basically just, it's an age-related thing more than anything. So this is certainly encouraging. I wasn't worried about Lockett realistically, but I was aware of the possibility that as an older player, these injuries that you get that normally would just take a day or two can sometimes take weeks. So good stuff on Lockett. We also had a practice session from Connor Williams. And again, the team has been kind of vague on whether or not he's going to be able to go when the season starts. but he continues to participate in the practices, so seems like a reasonable expectation at this point. So most of the injury stuff is super on point, right? Like that's a long list of important players that at least participated in some of practice today, and we got 6 days to go until game day. If you're able to be in uniform, if you're at that stage of your recovery, you've got a pretty good chance, right? Draymond, Jerome Baker, Rayshon Jenkins, Trey Brown, Noah Fant, Tyler Lockett, Connor Williams. Those are several starters and a couple of key contributors off the bench. So I'm feeling really good about that. Again, the only guys who were highlighted in a not so positive way on the injury front was Nwosu, Brown, and Burns. And if Nwosu had already come back, that would have been kind of superhuman of him. I don't think there was any possibility of that. So that's the meat of the updates from today's practice. There were a couple other things. Brady Henderson captured this quote from Tyler Lockett talking about Geno Smith, basically just saying that Geno Smith has been phenomenal this summer, called this the best camp he's seen him have. They've been teammates since 2019. I think he still has that mindset of that dog mentality. I've got to go out there and grind. I've got to go out there and get it. So a few different people wrote about Lockett's praise of Geno. Of course, what else is he going to say? But on a day like today, when the media doesn't get to watch most of practice, stuff like this is about the most that you're going to get. You're going to get quotes, glowing quotes about players discussing their teammates. So Lockett calls out Geno is looking really good, and that that lines up with most of the stuff we've heard, right? Most of the players on this team, most of the media, most of the clips we've seen indicate that Geno looks ready for a career year. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, he might be looking at this season as his opportunity to really cash in. Like cash in a way that he has not cashed in before. So, tremendous motivation here, and he sounds like he's ready to take full advantage. Also had this quote from Geno and Reed. Condota posted it here. I'm going to have to blow it up a little bit to capture the whole thing. But Geno and Reed's full quote today talking about what it's been like so far playing for Mike Macdonald. It's been really good. I say it all the time. I feel like he brought back old school football. No shots or anything, but I feel like it's been missing for a little bit. We bring the physicality back. I mean, it is a shot, isn't it? Like, I saw this quote and I was like, oh, wait a minute here. Geno and Reed was here last year. Geno and Reed spent a good chunk of his career in Seattle. So, I mean, right now, it's really hard to not overanalyze any quote from any Seahawk player or coach. Macdonald has certainly said some things that seem to be interpreted as shots at the way Pete Carroll was doing things. But I see a quote like this, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a big one. Geno and Reed was drafted by Pete Carroll, or by Pete Carroll's regime. Geno and Reed spent a majority of his career playing for Pete Carroll defenses. So I saw this quote, and I was like, wow, that's there's something going on there. I mean, he said it. I know he says not to take a shot, but it is a shot, isn't it? So, got to make you feel pretty good. But we'll see how good we actually feel when the games start in 6 days. All right. I'm going to go and get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. And, yep, more videos coming tomorrow. See you on Twitch tonight. Everybody have a good evening.